Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last session of a three-part webinar series on CAHME's new set of C-suite reports. I'm Anthony Stanowski. I'm the president and CEO of CAHME. I have to tell you, today I'm just really excited to introduce to you a brand new report. And the report's called C Peers, for either See the Peers or CAHME Peers, however you want to kind of look at it, but C Peers. This report will show you the top 10 compared programs to your program on the CAHME Advanced Search tool. This answers the question that you get from your department head, from your provo, from your dean. Who are we compared to by students? Who do students compare us to? Our investment in the Advanced Search tool many years ago is not only giving the public data, but what you're seeing right now, or what you'll see in the reports coming up, is the added benefit to you to help you create strategy and understand who your program's being compared to. We've come a long, long way on the annual report process. I don't need to kind of repeat where we were in those early days versus today. Now, look, firstly, primarily, the annual report process is critical to CAHME as an accreditor. We are required to monitor our programs on an annual basis by the Council on Higher Education Accreditation. But what we've kind of done with that is taken that sacred responsibility that we have to the public to use the data to meet the information needs of CAHME, but also kind of allowed you to leverage that data so you're not just meeting CAHME standards, but also helping you view information about your own program to get better. And I think the past couple sessions we've done looking at benchmarking and trend analysis certainly are designed to do that. Now, I also want to say this is not the be all and end all of where we're at with our annual reports. We're continuing to make investment in it, and there'll be some additional capabilities that'll be coming out next academic year. So, be confident of that. We're going to continue to work and add on improving the C-suite, basically focusing on two parts: monitoring and creating algorithms to ensure the data is correct and clean. And number two, providing to our key stakeholders access to some critical reports. And the key stakeholders are you. Importantly, in this time, the suite of C reports is free to you as being part of a CAHME accredited program. There's one limitation. Only if you provide information will you get information. So that's the sole limitation. And with that, let me turn it over to Stacy Rowan, our Associate Vice President of Information Technology, who's just done an amazing job working with our developer and kind of helping to create this set of C-suite reports to you. And Stacy, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
All right, thanks, Anthony. So CAHME's goal with the C-suite of reports is to help our programs create a mission-focused, data-driven strategic plan. This suite of reports, of course, are just one piece to that puzzle of your program's strategic plan, but we believe that the data that we provide gives insights into your program that you will find valuable in this process. Today is the final of the three-part webinar series, and we will be focusing on this new report that Anthony mentioned, C Peers. And then I'll be showing you what CAHME has in store next for this suite of reports that we've created for you, our programs. So this new C Peers report, seen here at the very top block, starts the process of peer group analysis. It will provide you with new insights on your program that can be used to compare your program directly with your top comparison programs, benchmark your program's annual report data against that of a defined peer group, evaluate the market trends of your peer groups, and gather data on the faculty complement and characteristics of your peer groups. By the end of this session, you will see how the C Peers report can jumpstart the analysis for program improvement and strategic planning. Will your program have access to C Peers? The key to getting the data needed for CPERS is to have your program published on CAHME's advanced search tool. I'll be going into more specifics about our advanced search tool here soon, but in order to be eligible for CPERS report, your program must be in either the candidate or accredited state and have met the annual report completion requirements. So for example, as a CAHME candidate program, you must have completed 1 year of annual report data for all sections within CARE to receive access to CPERS. So let me explain where the data for CPERS comes from. As a CAHME lifecycle program, you are expected to complete an annual report within our CARE system. This data is then reviewed by CAHME staff, and if you are a candidate or accredited program, the data is then made available on CAHME's advanced search tool, which is publicly available on our website, CAHME.org. Every time someone accesses the advanced search tool, we are recording the actions being taken by that individual. This is the data that feeds the CPERS report. For those of you who may not be familiar with CAHME's advanced search tool, I'm going to show you how to access it and how the public uses it in the next few slides. CAHME's advanced search tool has been available for public use for the past 5 years. We believe that transparency of this information to the public and specifically prospective students is critical as an accreditor. The easiest way to access advanced search is by clicking on this yellow box, which is located on every page of our website. There are, however, additional access points to the tool. We promote it through our bi-weekly emails, our social media, and most of the CAHME accredited programs link to their specific advanced search profile page through their program's website. In the past year, we have had over 12,000 distinct users for a total of 62,000 views on the CAHME advanced search tool. That means we are averaging over 1,000 unique users monthly on the tool. So once you click that yellow button on the CAHME website, you'll be taken to access the advanced search tool. This is the page that you will see. Users can filter to specific programs using the tab shown. The filter options include degree, mode of delivery, type of curriculum, location, cohort model, and track. If you're looking for a particular program, the user can also search by a phrase or a keyword. Once the program search button is clicked, the user will be provided with a list of programs that meet their filter criteria. From here, the user can click on the page icon for a specific program in order to view that program's advanced search profile page. Or they can select up to 3 programs using the checkboxes and then click the Select to Compare button. This multi-program selection is the data that CPERS uses. When your program appears in one of these comparison selections, that information is recorded by CAHME. CPERS can then calculate what programs are most frequently compared to your program using that data. The page shown here is what that multi-program selection report looks like. The user can then do a comparison of the annual report data of the most current academic year for all 3 of these programs. From here, the user can then go to a specific advanced search program profile page by clicking on the button at the bottom. The program profile page shows detail on the program, followed by the annual report data over 3 years. So again, I just want to highlight the difference in these 2 different pages that are shown here. On the left is the program comparisons page, and this is the data that feeds CPERS report. And on the right, we have a program profile page. This information will be important in a few minutes whenever I go into more detail on the CPERS report. So just like the other C-suite reports, CPERS is housed within the CARE portal. The CARE portal can be found on our login hub on the CAHME website. Once you are logged into the CARE portal, you will see a page similar to this, and at the top of that page is a dropdown for the C-suite reports. Upon selecting the dropdown, the list of C-suite reports will appear. If your program does not have access to a particular report, it will be grayed out. All programs who have met the requirements should at this point have been granted access to CPERS. After this webinar, if you should have any questions regarding permissions to those reports, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You may be wondering what the numbers are in parentheses after the reports. This is the count of times that each of the reports has been run by your program. So now for the great reveal. So this is the first half of the CPeers report. In this demo, I have used all made-up program names. At the top of you will see in blue your program's name. Below that, you will see the number of times that your advanced search program profile page has been visited since January 1st, 2024. This is where that important information I mentioned a few slides ago comes into play. In this particular example, Aspen Heights University's program profile page has been viewed almost 1,000 times since January 1st, 2024. During that same time frame, Aspen Heights was compared to 75 other programs with a total of 514 comparisons. This data comes from the multi-program comparison that I showed you in the advanced search tool. We then take those 514 comparisons and process that data to show you your program's top 10 compared programs. In this example, Aspen Heights has been most compared to Cedar Valley University 112 times since January 1st, 2024. Below the top compared programs, we then have 3 charts. The intention of these charts is to help you define your program's peer group. In this example, Aspen Heights is most often compared to MHA, non-executive full-time residential programs. However, there are some additional comparisons that have been done to other degrees, modes, and tracks. Now, before I go and show you the second half of the CPeers report, I want to give some background information about how it came about. About a year ago, we did a survey specifically targeting student users of the advanced search tool. We asked them to rate the areas of the annual report in order of importance to them when they are looking for a CAHME accredited program. What was concluded was total cost of degree, satisfaction of recent graduates, employment location, and income of recent graduates were the top 4 most important items to these prospective students. So now what did we do with that information? This is part 2 of the CPeers report. We took that information from the survey and are presenting 3 of those top 4 items for your program and your top 4 compared programs from part 1 of the report. In addition to total cost of degree, income of recent graduates, and satisfaction, we have also added recruitment data to the chart. This is an easy way to quickly see how your program lines up to those it's being most often compared to. To do a more in-depth analysis of these programs, you can visit their program profile pages or do your own advanced search comparison. So I've now shown you the last report of the C-suite reports. You are now able to do a one-to-one comparison of your program's top compared peer programs with CPeers. You can compare your program's data to the data of a defined peer group through C-benchmarks. You can review market trends for your peer group with C-trends. And lastly, you can analyze your faculty complement and compensation compared to your peer group. So what's next on the CAHME horizon with these reports? CAHME is working on a way for programs to use AI-driven insights to identify opportunities for program improvement and strategic planning using that data from the C-suite reports. How will we do this? We plan to export the de-identified data from each of these reports into a machine-readable data file. This file will then be able to be imported into an AI agent of your choice if you should choose to do so. Of course, your program can always analyze the data from these reports without the use of AI. So that concludes the final session of the 3-part webinar series. I thank you all for attending. For anyone who would like to watch or re-watch any of these C-suite webinars, access to the recorded webinars can be found by going to CAHME.org, selecting Media and Events, and then clicking on Webinars. Currently, both Session 1 and Session 2 are available, and Session 3 will be available next week. If you should have any questions regarding the CAHME annual report, the CAFE editor, or the C-suite reports, please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions you may have. And now it's time for Q&A.
Thank you, Stacy. What an incredible presentation. Hope all of you get to enjoy this data and kind of use this data. And after you get a chance to use it, drop us a note. Let us know what you think. But to me, it's really trying to answer that question that you get from your chairs and your provost. Who are we compared to, and how do we fall? One question came from Nalen, and he asked about, can we look at secular trends of information over time? And Stacy, I want to address this question, but I'll let you address it. How do you look at trends for programs over time?
Trends in compared programs over time. So what you could do for that is what you could do would be use that the top compared programs, use that peer group area where I showed those 3 different charts of your most compared to, hybrid programs that are residential. And what you could do is take that information and go to our C trends report and then filter down to that specific a peer group and then run that trend report, and you would be able to see the annual report trends for that peer group over time. However, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, or if you're asking changes in programs that your program is being compared to over time. And right now, no, but that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting
So
idea.
Stacy, I think you nailed it. I think it's the market trends report or the C trends report that really can basically do that. And let me also kind of say, if you go, geez, I want to be compared to Applewood University, and I'll stick with the tree part. And what have they been looking like over the past couple of years? Simply go into the advanced search tool, go in and run their report, and you can kind of see how Applewood has performed over 3 years, and you can compare that to yourself over 3 years too. So we've tried to make it really simple for you in this report to be able to kind of determine who the top compared programs are to you. And that's the goal. There's certainly a lot more detail to kind of go into from there.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll mention is the C Trends Report webinar 2 covers that one. So if you want some more information on that, go ahead and check out that video on our website.
This is Doug Whitman. I'm program lead at Webster University. I'm interested in if there is a breakout to remove from the numbers CAHME accredited schools. In other words, that are doing, all of us are going to be doing research, and we're going to have lots of hits and comparisons. Is there a way to weed out just the researchers, that is the schools, from the general public?
On the CPeers report, the answer is no. So it's who are you compared to against all of the programs that have been searched for. So the answer is no. Of course, you can look at the CPeers and go, hey, Maplewood program is not, I don't think they fit in within our peer group. And you can put a big X through that in your report as you kind of show it. When you look at the C trends report, the market trends report, or the benchmarking report, the C benchmarks, you can just select accredited programs when you compare what those groups look like in there. So let me kind of repeat that. In terms of C peers, it's who are you compared to the most, regardless of whether they're candidate programs, accredited programs, whatever. But in terms of trend analysis and benchmarks, those 2 other capabilities that exist through other C-suite reports, you can just select accredited programs.
Thank you. I think I might have miscommunicated my question. I'm talking about how do we, so you have the numbers, and there's X number of 100 hits, okay, where I'm compared to my schools compared to other schools. Is there a way to break out just the searches that were done by non-CAHME schools? Does that make sense? In other words, what is the general, what I'm most interested in is what the general public is looking at, as opposed to the other schools out there that might be including me in their searches, just to better understand their own picture.
Yeah, Doug, really, really, really good question. And the answer is no. We don't know who's coming in at advanced search, whether it's other schools or whether it's the general public. We don't know that. But what I would say is it's almost, it's kind of interesting to know, even if other schools are comparing themselves to you as well as the general public. So no, we don't know. No, we don't ask a question up front. Are you a student or are you a public?
Yeah, the only thing I'll add to that, Anthony, is that we do have that number. We know the number of unique users. So if you Doug, are going on there and repeatedly, running some reports, you at least know you're only being counted once as far as a profile view goes. But as far as the comparisons go, we don't know, So I guess my point is, you at least know that there's quite a few unique visitors coming to the advanced search tool, that it's not just, the program directors of CAHME accredited programs.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
And this is a great tool. Thank you for putting this together.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Doug. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And again, just send either Stacy or I a note. Let us know what you think when you take a look at the reports. Thank you all for all your time today, for all you do to help advance the quality of healthcare management education. Hopefully this helps improve your program, helps kind of you generate your strategies moving forward, and be tuned for some future developments going next year. So thank you all very much.